I want to welcome you back to another video, and if it's your first time here, my name is Young Fizz. Please consider subscribing as I make machine tutorials and other cool audio related content like the video that you're about to see today. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Bettermaker passive equalizer, and we're going to be taking a look at some of its controls as well as its parameters. And you might be asking yourself, well, why would I need to buy another plugin? Well, that's a good question because, a lot of us cannot afford a $3,000 Bettermaker actual hardware for $3,000. So I will include a link in the description to where you can download this for yourself and try it out and see how you like it, because this thing has some powerful features over the Bettermaker, the hardware. And for those of you that are not familiar with the hardware, basically the hardware is the Valve Stereo Passive Equalizer. And this is a unit that is known for getting your tracks to basically have a round, warm bottom and, some airy high frequencies in the top end. So if you haven't already, I need you to do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to turn on the bell notifications. So whenever I drop a new video, you will be the first person to be notified. Without further delay, let's go ahead and get into today's video, which is the Bettermaker Passive Equalizer. So here is the Bettermaker Passive Equalizer made by Plugin Alliance. And what I want to do is just show off the graphical user interface. Some people call it the GUI, or some people call it the GUI, but however you want to slice it. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the front face of the panel, just kind of covering some of its controls and parameters. So let's go ahead and get started on that. As you can see in the upper left-hand corner, there is a B, and I'm using Pro Tools, so it may look a little bit different depending on what DAW that you use. So Pro Tools has, their own user interface, and you can see at the top it has the bypass switch. It has like a factory default reset, but that doesn't really matter for now. What we want to focus on is the plugin here itself. So I'm gonna go to the B here, and you can see where it says show hints. And this is very helpful because if you hover over a parameter, it basically lets you know what it is and just a small description of how it works, right? So I think that's very important if you are a beginner and need to know exactly how to control the plugin or how to use the plugin. It provides you with very helpful hints. The next setting here is called Quantize Knob. And this is unique. I don't think I've seen this on another plugin. I'm still getting used to the Plugin Alliance, their plugin series. But basically what this does, and from what I've tested so far, is if I click this red dot here and I move it from the left to the right, it basically snaps into place from 20 hertz to 30, 60, and 100 there. Or you can just scroll this wheel here and it just kind of locks into place. And so let me see if it also does it for this one as well. Yes, so it's a lot more precise. So I guess it does what it says it does, which is quantize. So again, that's found right in this menu here. Now, if I was to turn this off, you can see it scrolls a lot smoother. So if you want to get really more precise as far as, if you want to get in between the digits, you're able to do that by dragging the red dot here or just simply rotating the dial here. All right, so the next setting here, we have the auto audition. And this is a unique feature, and I like the way this works because let's say, for example, if I am playing a track and I want to hear just the frequencies that I'm boosting. So what I would do, I would engage this here by simply clicking it, or again, we can come up over here and then have this checked or unchecked if we want it on or off, depending on how you want to go about that. So again, I'm going to click this one here. It's going to be on, it's indicated there, and I'm going to play the track and you're going to be able to hear how it sounds when I hold it and the track is going. So let's go ahead and do that. So you can hear as I'm holding it, I'm boosting it, so you can hear the gain boost in it. And I'm gonna let go and it's gonna return back to its full frequency. Now, what I wanna do now is go ahead and switch this off, and then I'm gonna do the same. So when this is off, you're not gonna be able to hear the frequency being boosted. So you can still hear the low end being boosted, but you can't hear that specific frequency really dialed in. So I like that addition. And it just reminds me of another plugin manufacturer that when you really filter out, that sound, you can really hone in on what you're boosting and really hear what you're boosting. So that's always nice as well. All right, so the next thing that I want to go over is at the top, it says default, and this is where our presets live. So right here we have Baines and it says 808 boom and cut. So it looks like we can use this plugin not only on just drums and whole mixes, but we can use it on vocals, some synths, basses, what have you. So it's good to kind of go in here and experiment with the different presets that you have, or if you're like me, just like to dial in your own. Either way works. Right next to that, we have the back, and then we have the forward. So if we want to undo or redo, we can do that. And then exactly next to that, we have our different comparison letters here. So we have A, B, C, and D. And this is really helpful because I think I said this in a previous video, but basically what you can do if you're new to these plugins, you can come in here and you can adjust these to different settings. And then say, for example, you want to compare to what you did prior, and you don't want to have to, dial up and mess up settings. You can just use this to simply go back to what you want to hear or listen to. So this is really helpful, and I can just go ahead and hit the reset for these ones here if I want to reset it and just kind of set it back to default. All right. And then we have the copy and paste. We have the reset, as I just showed you. I already showed you the auditioning button here. The next thing here is the monitoring of the mid or side signal. So right here is like the mid side, and keep in mind that this is a stereo equalizer. So if I come over here, I could show you the other side. So you can really process these difference if you unlink them, which you can do from right here. So I can move that there, and I can really shape my sound here. So let's go ahead and give that a test here. So you can really mess up your mix really fast if you don't know what you're doing with that. So be careful when you use that feature. The next thing we have here is an external side chain. We have our, this is called the analyzer. So if we press this button, we can see the graphical interface. And that's another feature that really sets a lot of these other EQs and everything apart. So with this one here, you have the basic control here. And if you click this button right here, you can see the graphic EQ, which I like to call it a visual EQ. And you can also control the different settings from here. So let's go ahead and give that a shot. So really cool stuff there. And then of course you have your low boost, your low cut, you have your high boost curve, you have your high boost, you have the high cut, gain, all that good stuff. Next thing I want to talk about is the button right here. And you might be asking yourself, well, what is this button? This button is the VSPE. And you might be asking yourself, well, what does the VSPE stand for? And the VSPE stands for Valve Stereo Passive EQ. And when it is engaged, from what I can tell so far, it pretty much just kind of cuts off this middle section here. So let me kind of show you what I'm talking about here. So if I get this off the screen here, and what I want to do is disengage this here. And the only thing I really have control is the output filters here. So let's go ahead and give it a listen. And so let me go ahead and boost some of this low end down here. You're going to see that it doesn't really affect anything. So keep in mind when you are adjusting things, you want to make sure that this is engaged here unless you do not want this middle section heard. All right, so that is pretty much the front of the interface. Then we have another cool feature, which is the valve here. And this basically allows you to get some of that saturation. So let me go ahead and turn this on here. And then we have that makeup gain, which we can control right here. So it goes from -10 all the way to +10. And so whether you have it on heat or flat, you can use that to basically do some adjustments there. So really cool stuff. Another cool thing I want to show you here. Let me go back to the graphical user interface here for the analyzer. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is reset this here. And what I do want to show you is the settings for this here, which is located right next to it. So let's just say, for example, we can see where it says the BM VSPE analyzer settings. So if we, of course, hit that power button, we can see what's going on here. And then we can change things like the resolution, speed, slope, zoom, all that good stuff. And this basically corresponds to what's going on down here. So I'm gonna go ahead and play the track again. You're gonna see as I move these knobs here, you'll see how things will be adjusted here. So let me go ahead and do that. So you can just kind of see how that behaves differently as I change certain things like the curve, the slope, all that good stuff. It just kind of corresponds to what's going on down here. So that is another cool feature there. One last thing that I want to show you, and that is how to switch the meters here. So let's just say, for example, that this meter shows the in. If you simply just click right here on the meter, then it changes to out. So that is just a quick way that you can see the input and then the output of the meter. So just again, click on the actual text there. It'll switch between in and out. So that is pretty much everything that I wanted to show you in this video here. If you have any questions, leave them down below. Also, if you do like what you see today, then go ahead and hit that link in the description box below. Remember, it's going to be the first link in the description box for your convenience. It's your boy Young Fizz, aka Mr. Dope Status on Instagram, and we will see you on the next video. Thank you for tuning in, and we are out.